It looks like it's 727-579-1025. There's one phone line available. The rest of you guys, hang on. Dominic Ferriello is making his way into the studio, and we'll take your phone calls right now. Then we're headed out to the Hard Rock to play some poker. Gio's out there. Dom, how are you, buddy?
I'm great.
Dom also has an announcement to make. We'll take a couple of phone calls, and then we'll make the announcement. Is that cool?
That is, but I do have a small presentation, not really for you, but from Uncle Dom to your son, because I missed his party.
Well, that sure is nice of you.
And he and I have like a Spider-Man thing. So for whatever reason, for whenever he has parties and holidays, that's my thing from Uncle Dom. So
I like it.
That's for Joey.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you'll be very happy. Let's get right to the phone calls, and then we'll let Dom make the announcement. Hi, Richard. You're on the Cowhead Show, and you're on with Ask the Dom. What's up, Richard?
I called last week and I talked to Paulie, and he didn't have the information on what is the penalty for texting and driving when I've been hearing that it's worse than DUI.
Who said that? You're listening to the wrong people.
No, I hear it on TV, on commercials. They say it's at least as bad as driving over the limit.
Yeah,
and I'm just wondering what is the penalty for texting and driving.
Is there, in fact, a stiff penalty for texting and driving? I
Well,
know it's like one of those seatbelt laws where they have to pull you over for something else first to do it.
I think what they're talking about is you crash the car, kill yourself or somebody else.
Yeah.
I think they're talking metaphorically, but what he's calling is, I think, specifically in the statute. We haven't had a case where somebody was cited for texting while driving. And
we haven't.
We haven't.
Yeah.
So I don't know offhand the statute number to say, okay, it's a fine of X amount, it's community service, it's a letter of apology. I think that's what the caller's asking for.
We have some skilled workers here on this show. I can write a business proposal and drive. I'm fantastic with my thumbs. Thomas, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Thomas?
Hey guys, hey Kyle. I got a ticket this morning. I was clocked by an aircraft, and I usually on 75, I drive at 78. I put the cruise control, I don't go over, nothing. I got stopped. They told me I was going at 85 and that an aircraft clocked me. Now, it's my word against his, so...
Yeah, how does that stand? I mean, the way that aircraft gets you is there's painted lines. And when you pass one line, they hit a stopwatch, and then they see how long it takes you to get the other side, and they determine how fast you were going, which doesn't seem, Dom, to be very accurate to me.
Well, here's the secret for Thomas and for all of those listening, which
Right.
is why the show is beneficial. You want to contest the ticket. When you have the hearing and go to court, you have to have two officers present. A lot of times they'll try to sneak one by you, and they only have one officer.
For every ticket or for the aircraft
For
ticket?
the aircraft.
What two officers? The one on the ground and the one in the air?
Correct, because they both have to have all their documentation that the system in which they had in place to calibrate the speed was all up to par and calibrated correctly. So both officers have to be there.
What's that, sir?
That's what I wanted to know. How accurate are they, though?
Yeah, well, what they'll do... Well, for example, let me make it simple. If you have a speeding ticket and you contest it, you go to court, the officer shows up, usually they'll have with them a book. And they'll say, okay, hey, I got you by radar, laser, or I paced you.
Right.
And so whichever one of those three mechanisms of which they've got you, they'll have everything calibrated, the odometer, the radar machine, the laser, everything good. The same applies now for an aircraft case, just you have to have both officers. Was the information, the instruments in the aircraft compliant with the officer relaying on the ground? Did the officer relay on the ground comply with what the air officer did? And then was the individual pulled over correctly?
And I always... whether it's speeding, even if you think, I was probably going 80 and a 70, always contest the ticket. It doesn't cost you anything if you go and fight the ticket and go to explain to the judge. Sometimes you'll get some leniency where the judge will say, okay, we'll keep the points, but you pay the fine, blah, 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 blah. It's worth contesting.
And Cal is right. I mean, it's good to have a lawyer if you've never done it before.
Yeah, I say get a lawyer. You don't even have to go most of the time. Let the lawyer go.
And that's true, but in all honesty, you don't always need a lawyer for that, but it's good to have one, especially if you've got a little bit of a traffic record and you got a little bit of a history. You want somebody there to help you with that.
I don't know anybody about that. Christina, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Christina?
Hi, Cal. Hi, Dom. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I have a question for you, and it's been a long, extensive case history, but I want to get right to the point. My ex-husband and I have been divorced for 6 or 7 years. We have a couple children together, and we were living up in Lake County. When we divorced, he moved to Osceola, and eventually I decided to move to Manatee, where I'm at now. I filed for everything pro se to get permission to move down here, and because I was leaving jurisdiction, of course. And when I did that, he got served with the papers that said I wanted to move to Bradenton, assumed that was Germany, and filed a restraining order against me on behalf of him and the children in Osceola County.
Wait a second. You said Bradenton and he assumed Germany?
Yes.
Had he never seen a map of Florida before?
Apparently not.
What a dummy.
So I did not realize that there was a restraining order that had been filed. I went down the following day. I was trying to get him served personally for another issue of custody. He has not seen his kids now in about 6 years, other than in court for brief moments in the lobby. So he's not a very involved father. I didn't know where he lived, and I had to get him served. So I went down to Osceola County to talk to some old friends and see if I could find out where he was located so I could have him personally served. During that expedition to Osceola County, I did not see him, but I ran into his parents. They didn't want to talk to me. I left. There was no altercation. Nothing happened. A couple days later, I'm back at home in Lake County, and a police officer knocks on my door, says that he has a restraining order to serve me with on behalf of David. And I jumped up and down and said, "Thank God, now we can have him served when we go to court for that." And the officer said, "But there's another part of this. I have to remove the children."
Oh, my God.
He has filed this restraining order on their behalf as well. I said, here, there's, 2 Foot Lockers full of case information here where it says that he's abusive. There's been restraining orders. He's been arrested several times for abuse on me and the children. The police officer had the wherewithal and used good judgment and refused to remove the kids, called the judge personally and said, "I'm not taking the kids from her. I know this family and it's not right." Long story short, 2 weeks later, we went to court for the temporary restraining order. It was totally dismissed. The judge told him that if he ever used those kinds of resources against me in that way, he would throw him in jail. Very angry with him. It was very clearly dismissed, and I won, if there is such a thing in this case.
Well, that's a ridiculous series of events. But what is your question for Don?
Several months later, that was in March of 2010, 3 months later, down here in Bradenton, I got in a car accident, and FHP had to arrest me on violation of a restraining order. Apparently, during that day, between the time that he had filed and the time that I had been served, he saw me, or his parents told him that I was in Osceola County. He called the police saying that there was a restraining order, and which, again, I had not been served with, and this is a temporary. And the police officer and him were apparently buddy-buddy. The police officer checked the NCIC and saw that there was not a restraining order served, but still filed the report as I don't know what it's called, but like an arrest affidavit, saying that I needed to be arrested for violating the restraining order.
Your ex-husband's a dick.
Yeah, so was the cop. I ended up never being notified that this charge was even against me because I had moved with permission down to Bradenton. So I got arrested, went to jail in Manatee County for the violation and the failure to appear on the violation. The Manatee County judge said, "Wait, I see the mistake. The papers are here. It was very clearly dismissed. I'm not having any part of this. We're releasing you, and you need to follow up with Osceola." In the meantime, though, this has been almost 3 years. I lost my job because I work with children in the school district, and I had an arrest for a violation of restraining order, which means that, number one, I was violent enough to have a restraining order put against me, and number two, I violated it. Of course, neither of which happened because the restraining order was dismissed.
I know, and if you were working with my kids, I'd be like, "This bitch is crazy. Get her away from my kids. She's already had a restraining order, violated it. She's nuts."
Right?
Wow. So what do you have to do now?
I'm a very low income mom, single mom. He's almost $30,000 behind in child support on top of all this. So I'm taking care of the kids on my own. I don't have the money to go get it expunged. When they did an internal investigation, they did find that the police officer who took that report about the violation did, in fact, see that there wasn't a restraining order and did not do due diligence and went against his code of ethics. So they found him at fault for the whole situation. In addition, the courthouse and the clerk of courts the prosecuting office, even when I contacted them and gave them the paperwork to prove it had been dismissed, they continued their their case against me, and it was a false case. If they had confirmed any of their information, they would have realized that there was no restraining order because I had not been served with a temporary.
Let me jump in here real quick. Are you blown away by this, or are you like, this happens all the time? Because I'm blown away.
I'm not surprised because when she says 2 words is all I needed to hear. Well, actually, there was 4 words. The first 2 was family law.
Oh, okay.
No, first 2 was family law.
Right.
And
Tricky.
the second one was pro se. Yeah, which means that she didn't have a lawyer. She was filing all these documents on her own,
so it
representing
wasn't...
herself. And I'm not surprised because family law is nasty.
Yeah,
it really is because you have good folks. You have husbands and wives. Sometimes the guy, sometimes the girl. One or the other is crazy, and the kids are in the middle. You've got rural counties, like you just mentioned too, which does play a part.
Right.
So I feel horrible for her. But I'm not surprised by it. You're surprised because you'll
I don't deal with this. Yeah, and then what really bothers me is the fact that this guy is a lot of times you hear these stories and it's both parents fighting to get the custody of the kid, or this guy hasn't seen his kid in 6 years. He's just doing it to be a jerk off.
Well, what I can and I know your story is very sad and difficult, but what I can suggest is this: Bruce and Paul at the office, we do family law. It doesn't cost you anything to call us up and to talk to us.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to come down to the office, it doesn't cost you anything for an office appointment.
Where do you live? What city do you live in?
I'm in Bradenton, but I go to school at USF.
In Germany? You're in Bradenton, Germany?
They got good bratwurst there.
Well, to be honest with you real quick, I'm not having problems with the family law aspect of it anymore. I've gotten everything cleared up. My record is clear. I just filed for a concealed carry permit. It took 4 months to get back because of this arrest on my record. I'm more concerned about getting that expunged. The family law stuff I'm doing great with. We're going through child support. I've done everything pro se for about 14 years and have won everything that I've ever filed. So I'm pretty well versed in that. It's the effects of that arrest that are still holding me back. It's taking me 2 years to get a job that should only take a couple months to go through.
And it's the arrest that never should have really happened in the first place.
Yeah, so what she wants to do is either assignment or expungement through the Department of Executive Clemency. I think there's a $75 application fee, but the problem that she's going to have is...
Have the lawyer do it.
Well, yeah, but the problem that she's going to have is that if she goes to apply for a school board or a government entity, they're going to be able to find it. They'll see it.
Wow.
Now, if she goes in a private, if she wants to go work, in the corporate world, and I don't know, Target, Walmart, whatever, they're not going to have predominantly access to that versus a governmental entity. But we can assist you with that. I don't think it's very expensive. It's a few $100s when you compare to some of the other stuff that the firm does. We try to be very reasonable with that. So if she wants to call, we'll be more than happy to help her out.
I'm going to put you on hold. Carmen, please pick up and give Christina the phone number to the office, which for everybody else is 813-251-5550. When we come back, we have time for a couple more calls before we head out to the Hard Rock. And Dom's got a big announcement to make. We'll do that next.
You having a party?
What happens when 2 of the biggest parties of the year...
And a lot of people are going to hear that and say, "Whoa, I got a family law problem." So that was, despite the fact it was long, it was probably very good, especially for the fellas. Now I have in my hand signed contract. It is official.
Add that to the sad list that I'm making.
Okay.
The list of, I want them to come to my birthday party.
Okay.
Who's at the top of that list?
John Cena.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Actually, the top of the list, he really, the guy at the top of the list could come too, because he's hurt and out for the season. I really want Derek Jeter to come to my birthday party. Then second on the list, John Cena.
Okay.
Third on the list, Mike Allstott. No particular order.
Okay.
These are just guys that live in the Tampa Bay area that I really admire. I have some other guys that I really admire that are actually coming. I don't know when I can talk about all that stuff yet, but some big-time celebrities confirmed will be coming to the birthday party.
I'm pretty sure you can talk about it when you decide to talk about it.
No, I don't want them,
yeah, I guess.
You know
okay, I gotcha.
It's pretty big, and I don't want anybody to get, you might know him. His name is Diggler. No, I'm just kidding. Dom, you're coming, right? Next Friday, Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, well, that's we're doing everything. Isn't that combined?
Cruise document party,
all that
Hell
stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't miss that. There may be another Dom performance. Only if I get drunk enough.
Not if I can help it. Dominic Ferriello is our attorney. He is also our good friend. He has been coming on this show for, what is it, 4 years now?
5.
5 years?
Cinco de Mayo 09. So where are we? Is that we had 5?
No,
or 4?
it'll be 5 in May.
We're going into the 5th.
Wow.
Year. So 4 and
Still
change. 4 and change.
I don't like anybody for that long.
My goodness.
You and my wife are the only ones that hung out that entire time.
Made it this far.
Here's the deal, though. Our relationship has changed with Dom. He is our lawyer. He is our friend. And now he will make the announcement, but there is another title that Dom has in relation to us. And starting Sunday, September 22nd, Dom is also our coworker.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Very nice.
I'm ecstatic, and a very big thank you goes to my very good friend here, Cal, for supporting me and helping me with this. And a heartfelt thank you, because you were a very big supporter of me.
I think it'll be huge.
And for those of you that don't know, the station has offered me my own show on Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10.
Yep.
We got a little bit of, I don't know if it's Ask the Dom Weekend Edition. I was talking with Drew Garabo outside. He says,
don't listen to him.
Well,
He's
he said
mean to all his listeners.
Sunday brunch and mimosas with the Dom.
I like that.
Some people say Church of Dom. I don't know if that's sacrilegious. I have the contract here, which is signed, so we can talk about it, but they wanted me to sign it in blood. So Spanish, I need you to cut
Welcome
yourself.
to Cox.
Okay, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Consider it done.
Just put your mark here on the last page. I don't know if there's any copyright or trademark infringement. I got to clear a few things with you. I do have some cast members that are there. I have a young lady that's going to be named Carmel.
Oh, nice.
I have someone named Gravin. There's a Senor Armando that is going to be there. And oddly enough, a fellow with the first name Brennan and last name Johnny.
All clear on my
which
end.
is no relation to your John Brennan. So
It's just shockingly
you
ironic.
might sue me.
In all seriousness, starting Sunday mornings on September 22nd, this radio station will be doing something finally with the weekend programming. The one thing that has been the key to success for this radio station has been the live and mostly local broadcasting that we do here. And on Sunday, Dom will have an entire hour to be the Dom. Now, there's a lot of things that I think go into the success of that show. First of all, look at the board. It's 6:51. We've got a full line of board of phone calls that held through the break. We never have a shortage of calls of people that want free legal advice. You'll have a full hour to do that now, talking to Dom. But Dom also is very well connected in the area and has brought guests onto this show before, mayors, judges. He knows a lot of people. And I think it'd be very interesting if you were to take phone calls with a sitting judge in the studio, or a former mayor in the studio, or a prosecutor, where people can call and get their aspect of things, which you don't get very often. And a lot of times in this show, because we're trying to cater to everybody, we can't do it for an hour. We can do it for a break or two, and we got to keep moving along before we bore the people who don't want to hear it. In Dom's hour, that's an entire hour dedicated to that. And I think that Dom is enough of a ham and a character, and he's funny to us to hang out with, that you'll enjoy that hour. I tell you, Dom, the Dom that plays poker with us and eats dinner with us on Thursdays at the Hard Rock is a guy that very few people get to see on the radio, but I think will come out when you have a full hour to do that.
Don't forget Cruise Dom. He's fun to hang out with. He's a
Don't-
lot of crazy.
don't-
That guy.
Cruise Dom is not FCC compliant.
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say-
guy I want to hang out with. He's fun. Isn't
Hey,
he?
Cruise Dom, that's the dump button
nice to
right
meet
there.
you.
The very first guest that I'm going to have live is going to be the Honorable Judge Dick Greco Jr.
Oh, good.
nice.
And what's neat about Judge Greco is he's been a circuit court judge, then he's been out of practice. He used to work for a very large law firm, and then he went back to the judgeship on the county court bench. Now he does both. He's currently out in Plant City, but Eastern Hillsborough. And again, it's a live show. Call in. Same thing I do here. I don't, we don't have time to screen. Carmen just gets the name. We don't really know what they're saying because I don't know, Carmen. I don't know how you spell the stuff, but I love you to death.
That's perfect.
But that's part of it because I don't screen anything.
Right.
So they ask me. It's fresh. It's live. It's not designed not to be pre-recorded.
Yeah, and I think people will enjoy it. Again, it's going to be on Sunday mornings, which is perfect. It's kind of, 9 to 10. You roll out of bed no matter what you did the night before. Some people on their way to church. Some people going out to brunch, like we said before. Fishing guys. There's plenty of people up and available, and I think that it'll serve well in the radio community.
Some people waking up and going, "Oh God, I need a lawyer. What did I do?"
Hear my voice that way. Now I'm not leaving the show.
No.
Because some people say, "Well, you're not doing Cowhead." I said, "No. I'm still Gonna be here on Tuesdays and the Thursday when I do the casino. But the one thing I'm sad, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, is on Sunday I'm not going to have co-counsel Cal.
I know. No one will be able to tell you to set things on fire or throw oil cans at it. Wait, you just made me think of something. Sunday, and then, oh, man, I had something I was going to say, and I lost my thought. I'm worried it was important. I don't want to screw it up.
Is it an announcement? Are you legal trouble? Is it?
No. It was
Give me another contract.
pertaining to your show.
Co-counsel.
That's what threw me off. Damn it! I'll think of it.
Well, now Armando's going to be part of it as well, and we're bilingual.
Nice.
Look, you've got senior Spanish. I want senior Armando. I got the Mexican flair, baby. Okay.
Oh, my.
No, you got a problem with that?
Not at all. Not at all.
Just messing with your Spanish. I'm all right.
I'm sorry we didn't get to a lot of phone calls today. That woman's story was very interesting. You people that were on hold, 813-251-5550. Call the office. Talk to Dom there. Send him an email. On Twitter, also at Ask the Dom. We got to head over to the Hard Rock. We got a big poker tournament to play in tonight. Damn it, Dom. What was I going to say to you before?
Steaks.
Yeah, I need some steak tonight. I'm starving.
You love us?
You had, no. You had Sunday morning show.
Was it a name, maybe? Name
No,
for the show?
something I wanted to say. No.
We got to should I just keep it? Just ask the Dom.
Ask the Dom. I like it.
Ask the Dom.
Tea
Ask the
time.
Dom.
That's it.
Tea time with Dom.
Hello.
Hello.
What are Margaret Thatcher?
Stick with what works. Thank you to Theo Rossi and Kim Coates, Tig and Juice from Sons of Anarchy for being on the show. They'll be here in town on November 2nd. We'll have more details about that as it gets closer. Thank you also to the person who sent me the Josh Freeman stuff last night. It is up on our Facebook page if you have not seen it. Facebook.com/The Cowhead Show. Already getting requests from people to take it down because they are directly affected. They are directly affecting the person who originally let that get out in the public. So Josh Freeman must already be aware of it. Hey, if he calls us and talks to us, I'll take it down in a heartbeat.
Sure.
Also, tomorrow on the show, the Penthouse Club, Dom, you should be here for this. The Penthouse Club is sending in an artiste to paint Carmen's boobies. We will finally get to see Carmen with no shirt on, but with paint on. Ladies, if you would like Galvin and I to paint you, we'd be happy to do that for some tickets, for some prizes.
I'm bringing in some soup cans.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm doing
If
finger
you
painting.
know what I mean.
Ooh. What time is that? I gotta put in my calendar.
4 o'clock.
4.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta be here for contract signing
Right.
again. Did you do that yesterday? Shut up. Don't say nothing.
And then tomorrow night, we'll be at Mako's in Largo. And Saturday, halfway to St. Patrick's Day at the O'Brien's in Brandon. Headed to the Hard Rock right now. You kids have a great night. We will see you tomorrow. See ya.
This is the Cowhead Show.
I'm hungry. Yeah. That's a...
Oh, Babu, I'm a fool. I'm an old, fat, stupid fool. That's why.
And I will give you an honest review of the doc. I mean, for you might think it's like medium, but I might go look at it and go, oh my God. Or I might go, oh my God.
I'm like, man.
The Cowhead Show. The new 102.5 The Bone.